We have one absent member tonight, Patty Devine from the Bronx. We don't know what happened to Patty.
Oh, please.
And we have one lady who's trying to call in. So we're trying to get this squared away. Muriel.
Right here, Wendy. We got you. Right in the middle.
The dog doesn't get a vote, not yet. If it was up to me, they would, but not anybody else. I like the dog better than people. How we doing?
Hi, Mariel.
Hi.
Lori Sutton here. I'm giving you to John Rowan, and we're putting you right by the mic, so we're going to see if you can hear.
This is, yeah, you know, the mic isn't gonna help us very much. Where's the speaker? That's the magic question. Anyway,
Oh, there's a speaker right over here.
all right, we're gonna put you by the speaker, Muriel. Mario. Keep saying Muriel, and it's Mariel.
It's good to be getting this much attention. Look at all these people.
Okay, why don't we get started?
You know a lot of the vendors.
And we'll start by introductions as best we can. My name is John Rowan. I'm the interim chair. I'm a city council appointee from Queens. I was actually a reappointee. I've been on the board for more years than I care to think about. In my other world, I'm a retired New York City employee, a manager. I did different jobs over the years, and I'm the national president of Vietnam Veterans of America and just got reelected to my sixth two-year term. So if that doesn't say something, I don't know what it does. But anyway, glutton for punishment. But anyway, we'll have everybody introduce themselves, and then we'll go into I'll make a few more introductions, and then we'll go around. We'll get some business out of the way real quick. So, Anderson?
Hi, my name. Excuse me. All right. Hi, my name's Samuel Innocent. I am a 7-year Army medic. Got out of the military in 2011. Colin Powell Fellow, Pat Tillman Scholar. Graduated from the City College of New York. Born and raised in New York, Brooklyn. That's my borough. Shout out to all my Brooklyn people out there. I see you. And now I sit on the Veterans Advisory Board representing the Bronx.
Todd Haskins, Marine Corps veteran. I've moved to New York here about 11 years ago, so I'm a transplant originally from St. Louis, Missouri. I live in Manhattan, had lived on Wall Street, actually on Broad Street, and then recently moved to Harlem. So moving around a little bit. I've worked for Goldman Sachs my entire time here in New York, and run our veterans programs there, and also have worked across Wall Street to help organize the financial firms to focus on veterans employment issues, both in the finance industry and then across the U.S. So excited to be on the board and hope to be able to contribute.
Hello, my name is Wendy McClinton. I'm a 10-year United States Army female vet. I am also the president and CEO of Black Veterans for Social Justice. Been in that position for the last 6 years, came home after serving 10 years honorably and wound up homeless. And so then coming here, we serve the country, the veterans and the females, doing the jobs that we have to do across the board. This is my second term as sitting on this board and excited about what's up to come.
Hi, I'm Tony Odierno. Joined the Army in 2001, served in the infantry, was medically retired in 2007, deployed to Iraq in 2004. Currently work at J.P. Morgan Chase on our military and veteran programs focused on employment, housing, and education for veterans. Where our main effort is really leading the 100,000 jobs mission, where we've hired over 267,000 veterans over the last 4 years. So very, very proud of that, and also serve on the board directors for the Wounded Warrior Project.
How you doing? Good evening, everybody. My name is Joe Bello. I am a 11-year Navy veteran and 20-year veterans advocate here in the city. I run NY Metro Vets, which is a social media platform here for vets. I also work with my wife, Vicky, who runs the Veterans Upward Bound program at LaGuardia Community College, where we do basically college prep, computer, for veterans and stuff like that, and I'm representing the Bronx.
I'm Vince McGowan. I'm the former chair of the VAB. I'm here working with John for this year as the transition occurs. Honored to be the past. Great to be sitting in as the future is enveloping in front of us. And I think we're all in for a very welcome surprise in the next couple of years.
Good evening. My name is Jules Martin. I'm a 4-year veteran of the U.S. Navy. After leaving the Navy, I spent about 30 years in the police department. When leaving the police department, I transitioned to New York University, where I spent 15 years. I think I spent about 50 years in the workplace, and my wife said that it was time to come home. But I'm very, very pleased to be a part of this team, and I just hope that I can contribute from the story that I've heard and the colleagues that I'm very privileged to work with. I think we can make some great strides at MOVA.
I'm Charlie Greinsky from Staten Island. One of the rare things, I'm a native Staten Islander. 2 years active duty, 10 years in the National Guard. I was one of the unfortunate ones. I was one of the last draftees. Went in on Valentine's Day of '72. If I had been in the first lottery, my number would have been 366. But I was in the second lottery, and number 7 came real quick. I'm retired from city government. My last employment, I was commissioner of the Civilian Complaint Review Board, along with Mr. Martin. And I look forward to spending time here. I'm the county commander of the Jewish War Vets on Staten Island, and original member of 421 in Staten Island, as well as American Legion Post.
Not good with this stuff. Hernandez Charles. I don't even know where to begin. I grew up here, Lower Manhattan all my life, watched the World Trade Center go up, and fortunately had to get stuck on that detail coming down. I worked with the Board of Ed as an assistant principal, then my last detail was retired out as a principal, but I got hurt in Iraq from 2004 to 2006, and my partner here, Valor. So much, but my mind slips when I see too many people, so forgive me. So I'm here, I'm happy. This is it.
What's your partner's name? Valor. All right.
Yeah, us military guys gives dogs strange names. One of mine at home is Tank.
Why is everything?
There's a reason for it, because he's a 120-pound golden retriever, which is lots of fun. Let me introduce a couple of people. Muriel, yeah, we need to get her. I'm sorry, I shouldn't forget her. Let's see if we can speak into the phone.
You there, Mariel?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Can you hear?
Speak.
I'm here.
Okay,
Tell
great. We're just doing introductions. Were you able to hear the previous introductions?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Okay, super. So speak away. The mic's right in front of you.
Okay, I'm Mariel Juarez, a two-time Iraq veteran with the United States Army. I've been with the Vet Center and the VA since 2006, started as an outreach coordinator, and now I'm a readjustment counselor with the Staten Island Vet Center.
Terrific. Thanks so much, Mariel. Appreciate it. Okay, I'm going to put you down by the speaker again. And the speaker's on, so if you have something to say, just say it loudly, and we'll bring you right back to the mic.
Okay. Very good. Let me introduce, by the way, the able-bodied assistant over there is our Commissioner Moa. We'll hear more from her soon. Let me just introduce we have our host tonight is Workforce One in the Brooklyn Career Center, and Daniel Nesbitt is here. He's a veteran specialist. Welcome. Thank you for your hospitality. And we also have, you've seen the IDC-NY table outside, and Luke Hayes is the gentleman in charge of that. For those of you who should sign up, get your New York City ID, get all kinds of freebies to get into all kinds of wonderful city events. Also helps to get discounts, by the way. I go to Home Depot a lot. 10% off, very good. Lowe's, too. All right. I also want to introduce Command Sergeant Major Hunter from Fort Hamilton. He's representing the military here today. Good to have him. He's protecting Brooklyn. So the first order of business is going to be in elections, and we don't have any, we have a bylaws, but it doesn't really spell out any particular way of doing elections other than just go ahead and have them. We've never been blessed with so many people who actually want to run this place. Usually it's cajoling people into taking jobs. So we're blessed tonight that we have more people. So I would like at this time to put out all the nominations first. So all those who wish to be considered under nomination, raise your hand and we'll put you down. Who wants to run to be chair? We're going to start with the office of chair. All righty. I got one. Yeah, I'm sure I got a couple. Wendy and Todd. Todd, hold on a second. Joe, Bello. And who's the fourth? Did I miss? Yeah. Charles Hernandez. I'll actually remember the names eventually. So we have 4 candidates. Under the rules, according to our discussion with the law department, see, we are kind of a city agency of sorts. And so the law department gave us some guidance. And under the rules of the city, we have to have a majority of the body, even though there's only 10 technically taking part out of the 11, since we're missing one. We still have to have 6 to get a vote. You need 6 to get somebody elected or to get a motion passed or whatever. So we'll start with that. And would anybody like to say anything? The people who wish to be nominated or would like to say a few words? Give us a little speech? Short? No? Okay. We actually have ballots. Now, what I'm going to do for Marielle, I will let the commissioner write in whatever she asks.
I will ask
Well,
of you folks, Vince.
Vince, okay, well, Vince will take Marielle's phone. So I'm going to pass out a ballot. I'll walk around. It's easier for me. I could use the exercise anyway. I just want to make sure who we got here. So Vince is going to be for.
I'll pick up her phone and she'll tell me
Yeah.
after the names are given.
Yep.
And she can tell me the name of the one she puts and I write it down.
Okay.
Everybody's got one? And we have one that's not voting. That's easy enough. So there's 10 votes. So the nominees are Joe Bello, Wendy McClinton, Todd Haskins, and Charles Hernandez, in no particular order. So put down whoever you like.
You have a preference? Vote? Start. You can tell me.
If you just pass them down to me, and then I'll give them to Vinny, and he can take a quick count. You don't have to get them too small on. It's not that this is, it's just easier to do this than it is to do a voice vote. You got everybody, so Vinny,
Yeah.
you get to do the honors there, count them up. If we got one with 6, we win.
Drum roll.
All right, we have 2, John? 2 for Charles. We have 2 for Joe. We have 1 for Wendy. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for Todd.
Okay. Oh, boy.
Yeah. You can call it again.
Yeah, so we have 1 for Wendy,
Yes,
and we have 2 for the other gentleman.
yes.
Okay. Unfortunately, we don't have a whole lot of these little things, so I'm gonna take Wendy. Write small.
Yeah. right across the top.
And I'm gonna shuffle them at her, so it doesn't
Yeah.
matter who did it the first time. And we'll, unfortunately, we'll take Wendy out of the race, it'll leave 3 people. And we'll keep going, if we still don't get 6, then we're gonna get down to the bottom of this yet, and I'll figure it out. But the bottom line is, we'll just keep reducing until we only have 2 people, and then somebody's gotta win.
Okay, these are, consider these fresh ballots, please. If there's a name on it, when you get it.
Just make sure it's scratched out, I think
yeah,
I
make sure
did
it's
scratch it out.
please. And, pass it down.
So who are the remaining candidates?
Todd Haskins, Joe Bello, and Charles Hernandez.
Who's missing the ballot?
The telephone.
Oh, the telephone.
The telephone, you.
Ariel, I'm gonna keep you on your original vote. Okay.
Okay. Easy enough. There we go again. Isn't this fun? Aren't you glad you came out on a hot summer night to see this?
Let's see if they come back, John. One more. Okay. All right.
We're making Tammany Hall look good here, I don't know. Okay, so, let's see what this does for us.
I vote for the dog.
I want to be the dog. They always say a dog's life is a great thing.
Hello.
And if my golden retriever is any sort of basic on that, boy.
My miniature dog miniature.
Okay, we have 1 for Charles, 3 for Joe Bello, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for Todd Haskins.
That's a winner.
Okay, congratulations, Todd. Thank you.
You're the chair. You want me to just keep doing this?
You're welcome, John, you finish.
All right, I'll finish this thing off with, give the poor guy a break. All right,
Let's start the roll.
Vice Chair. As soon as this election's over, then he can have the chair. All right, Vice Chair, who wants to be nominated for Vice Chair? Okay. Charles, right? Let's see. Charles Hernandez. Joe Bello.
Okay. She can hear.
I'll give a rundown again.
Yeah.
And who else do I have? Innocent, Mr. Innocent. Samuel Innocent. So there's 3 candidates, and I'll read them off again. Charles Hernandez, Joe Bello, and Samuel Innocent for the post of Vice Chair.
You got that?
Okay, and I have fresh ballots for that.
Samuel Innocent, Joe Bello, and Charles Hernandez for Vice Chair. 3 choices. Okay.
Okay, 1 for you. So write small in case we have to do it again.
Thanks, small.
With 3 people, I don't know, be interesting. Okay, very good.
Finish passing down.
Okay.
Want to have more? Oh, okay.
There you go.
Thank you. Okay.
See, we could have done this in executive session, but again, the lawyers told us we shouldn't. And I think they're right. I think everybody should see what happens and how it goes.
All right, we have 2 for Charles Hernandez, 1 for Joe Bello, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for Samuel Innocent.
All right.
All right?
Samuel, congratulations. All right, we have a position of secretary.
Have the envelope, John, before you keep everything together.
What?
I'll keep you,
Oh, you're keeping them, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
in case there's an investigation on this. We got 3 lawyers at the other side of the place.
Okay. Did we ever have a secretary? I don't remember.
No, we didn't.
This will be new. All right, position as secretary. Again, nominations. Who wishes to be nominated? Don't all jump up at once. Joe Bello. Anybody else? Nobody else? Nobody else? Not hearing anybody else? Mariel?
Nobody, Ariel, are you considering putting your name in? No.
Okay.
Nobody else.
Not hearing any other nominations, I move the nominations be closed, and Joe Bello is now the secretary. Now I can get rid of these guys, they don't even have to move,
Yeah,
it's
no
great.
names.
Yeah, Vinnie, you're the keeper of the stuff.
I saved it all for Letitia because she does a great job.
All right, Don, now
keeping
you're
our
up.
records.
It's all your fault. I'm done.
It's a good thing we have this agenda prepared.
Yeah, well, there's not much of one. But it's better than nothing, I suppose.
All right.
John Rowan.
Yes, thank you. For many, many years of service and for keeping us in order here. So actually, next we're going to hear from the commissioner, who's going to give us an update on a lot of the activities that MOVA's had. I think you'll hear a lot of change here, and you'll hear a lot more change to come based on a lot of activities that are all underway. So, Commissioner Sutton.
Thank you so much, Todd. Okay.
All right.
Listen, what a joy it is to see so many folks who have taken the time to come out here tonight. I know we're going to get a chance in a few minutes to hear both from the IDNYC team and Workforce One team, but I also know that some of you have probably looked around and you've seen these great-looking young men who are behind cameras and who have come to us from the New York Film Academy. And I want to just give a quick shout-out before I get started. Actually, I'm looking at you, Trent or Claude or Jim. Who wants to stand up and just give us a quick rundown? Claude, could you just let me just, as Claude's coming up, one of the requirements now that we're blessed with the VAB reform to have public meetings out in each of the boroughs, they're filmed and they'll be archived, and we are forming a partnership with the New York Film Academy. And Claude, if you could just introduce your team, and I'd just like to welcome you and thank you so much for what you're doing.
Okay.
Come on up,
Thank
Claude.
you very much. I know there's a lot of important topics tonight, so I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I did want to thank the students for coming out tonight, most of whom are veterans, and we now are proud to have over 240 veterans currently enrolled in our film program. In addition to the film program, some of them in the acting program, screenwriting program, producing program, documentary program, on and on, so many programs. And I would say, as a teacher, I've often found them to be among my most dedicated, hardworking, organized, and most talented students. And so I would like to thank them for donating their time here. Peter DeJesus, blanking on people's names, not used to talk in front of Peter.
Army, 11 Bravo. Oh, okay. You forgiven.
Terrell.
All right.
Wally. And Rico, yes? Rico.
Hoorah.
So thank you for allowing us to be part of this. It's really a pleasure for us and an honor. So thank you very much.
Great. One more good example of how hiring a veteran is not just the right thing to do, it's the smart thing to do. And so we're just thrilled to have all of you on board. Listen, since our last meeting, which was back in April, much has transpired here at Team MOVA. I will tell you, this is a time of year where, as commissioner, I'm both looking back over this last year and looking forward over to the year to come. In just a few days, it'll actually mark a full year since I was privileged to take on this responsibility last September 1st. And as you no doubt are well aware, this has been quite a year of historic change for Team MOVA. We said it from the beginning. Catherine Laporte, I was able to bring her on from day one. We've just been building our team like gangbusters. And where is Catherine? Catherine, get yourself in here for a moment so we can give you a shout out. I'd like to when Catherine, Inez, Letitia. I know you all are working. Get Team MOVA in here. Inez is back there. Catherine, come on. Okay, so here we are. Catherine Laporte, she has served, certainly, give her a round of applause. Catherine, keep right in here for a moment, or push-ups will be involved, so we don't want to go there. Catherine has served as our chief of staff during this last year, recruited her from day one, and this week I'm very pleased to announce that she is now assuming she's being promoted to become deputy commissioner, special operations and special projects, so we're very excited. I'll tell you, our longtime veterans here at Team MOVA, we've got Letitia Rousseau. Many of you know Letitia from her work as the military community liaison. Yes, there you go. We've got Inez Adan, who also has been working with MOVA for a number of years, has come to us from DHS. Inez Adan has been really so instrumental in ensuring that each veteran, particularly those least advantaged among us, get an honorable burial. She is the one who really knows the most about indigent burials for our veterans, as well as a whole host of things. These two ladies are just, let's just give them another shout out. I can't tell you. And then you may have seen some folks out in the hallway. We've got Conchetta. She's one of our VISTA staff members. She's going to be here for a year. She may have... Okay, well, we do let our staff take work rest breaks, so Conchetta's on her way home. Some of you were able to meet our interns over the summer, Mike Weber and Rob Kane. They've gone back to their respective schools. And that leads me to the next exciting chapter of MOVA's history. Some of you are aware that MOVA feels so privileged, able to earn the respect of the mayor, the confidence of the speaker, the city council, and through the budget session, we're now in a position to grow our team and to grow our capabilities. To that end, we've been really thrilled this last week to welcome Nicole Branca, who's coming on board as Assistant Commissioner and Senior Advisor for Strategic Initiatives. Stand up, Nicole. Let us all give you a round of applause. Nicole is one of the country's leading experts in supportive housing, and she just brings a wealth of insight and expertise to this position. She's also in the position right now of interviewing individuals for policy analysts and 2 veteran peer coordinators. So keep that in mind. If you know of someone, I don't think it's quite too late, although it's zeroing in. It may be too late for this window, but that also, and by the way, on these positions, we did an outreach to the community, and it was really so heartening. We got over 140 resumes in a 3-day period. So really the word went out, and a lot of you folks, I'm looking at you, Sergeant Major, so good to see you. Hoa. So many of you sent the word out. We got great responses. We'll be bringing those folks on board very, very shortly. We're also in a position right now as we speak. These are the positions I was thinking about. We're bringing on board 6 veteran outreach specialists. This is so exciting. For the first time in MOVA's history, we're going to have the capacity to have a presence in each of the 5 boroughs. There will be one of those positions that will be the director, and each of those 5 outreach specialists will have a primary borough, a secondary borough, so there'll be cross-training. They'll spend part of their time out in the field. We're figuring out the concept of operations right now, part of their time at Team Central. So more to follow on that. That is posted right now, so if you know of someone, get the word out. We've also got a project manager position that will be posted this Friday. I just can't tell you what it means to be able to tell you about growing our team, making the move to One Center Street in the middle of September, and we just couldn't be more excited. So just give yourselves all a round of applause. I couldn't have done it without the advocates in our community as well as our leaders. Okay, so just very quickly, I know that there's some folks who are here who've come out tonight and want to be able to share some thoughts, some ideas. We're all ears. We're thrilled to have all of our newly appointed and reappointed VAB members Some of you realize that this has been several months in the making, and it was definitely well worth the wait, and I'm very excited about the leadership that is merging, and all of you, including Mariel on the phone, stepping up to really be part of this historic journey forward. Speaking of history, I just have to take a little moment here to introduce you all. Some of you know my sweet Lori, who's right here, the third seat back. And she's not only my sweet Lori partner, but as of the Sunday after the Supreme Court decision during the Pride March, popped down to my knees, had a sign in hand. She looked at it, it said, "Will you marry me?" And she says, "Who, me?" I said, "Oh no, this isn't gonna go well." But Lori, thank you as always for being here. And those of you who don't know Lori, you gotta get to know her. Thank you so much, Lori, for being so much in my life. So we got history that's being made on every level, and as we move forward, you know, our top 3 strategic lines of action for this coming year. Yes, we're going to end veteran homelessness, and yes, we're creating the system that will sustain that. And these peer coordinators are taking that out to the front lines, to the streets, to the shelters, wherever veterans are, and their families who can, you know, really just need that leg up. So we're excited about that. We're also teaming up with the First Lady. Some of you have heard me talk about this as she launches her strategic roadmap. Mental health, we want to absolutely incorporate veterans and their families. This is it's a holistic approach that starts in the community with peer-to-peer skills and extends through culture and the arts, really the very heart of what it is to be human. It's certainly the very heart of the healing journey of hope that so many of our veterans go through, and we want to be there every step of the way. Third strategic line of action has to do with connecting our veterans with city jobs, city resources, city services. And to that end, Catherine Laporte's got all kinds of stuff out there. Tonight she's brought a roster of available city positions today. So we want to get the word out there because there are so many opportunities. Sometimes folks don't think about New York City as a great employer. Well, it's the largest employer of veterans in the city as it stands today, and we want to recruit folks to come to New York. We want to take care of our 230,000 veterans and their family members who are here. We want to get inside that wire at Fort Hamilton and be able to talk with our service members and their families before they ever leave the service, so we can get them connected in, so that we can help them retool for the next leg of their life's journey. Lastly, I'm just going to say one of the things we're really most proud of this last couple of months is the ability to bring on board the veteran designation. The veteran designation on the ID NYC municipal ID card. I will tell you, first of all, New York City is making history like gangbusters. Over 400,000 New Yorkers have already gotten their municipal ID cards since the beginning of this year. That's orders of magnitude more than every other city combined that has had this program for years. And last month, we were so pleased to be able to announce, as the first city in the country under Mayor Bill de Blasio's leadership, to bring on board the veteran designation. Not only do you get the bedrock over 30 cultural, there you go, brother, I'm telling you, you were there in Harlem this morning too, weren't you? Not only do you get the bedrock over 30 cultural institutions, year free membership, but as a veteran, you get a year free membership to the Intrepid Museum. You get half off on the Veterans Advantage. That's a private program that gives a whole bunch of corporate discounts. And also we're working with the Chambers of Commerce in each of the boroughs, starting with Queens, but extending to all of the boroughs to be able to really make that veteran designation count. So more to follow on that, but we are truly, we are on the move. We're growing like gangbusters, and you're just gonna be part of this historic journey working together. So I think I'll just stop there and know that this is the beginning of a whole new dialogue as we start this second year, and I just couldn't be more thrilled to serve as your commissioner. Thank you so much. Hoa.
Great. Thank you, Commissioner Sutton.
IDNYC, guys, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, next one, we're going to go to Workforce One, Daniel Nesbitt, the Veteran Outreach Coordinator, to have some comment about Workforce One and the activities that they're doing here. Yeah, you're ready now.
Alrighty. First, I'd like to say thank you guys for allowing us to play host today, bringing some nightlife to our center. We're pretty busy during the days, and it's good to have you guys here this evening. So thank you for allowing us to play host. My name is Daniel Nisbet. I'm the veteran specialist here at Brooklyn Workforce One. Prior to me working here, I was in the Work Performance Management Division at Marcor Syscom at Quantico Marine Base. That's where I was prior to this position today. And here at Workforce One, our main job is to assist veterans and their families with positions that we may have available here on our site, and to basically help their families. I deal with veterans across the board who served in various branches, and it's a gratifying feeling to be able to help the way we are here. Since 2012, we've serviced 15,000 veterans here through our Workforce One centers. We have 15 centers throughout the city, and what happens is you come in, people come in for various recruitment events, for various opportunities, and what we offer our vets and or their spouses is what we call Priority One service. And what that is you come in and you identify yourself as a veteran, and you then meet with myself and various other veteran specialists throughout the city. And what we do, we speak about the opportunity you came in for today. We see, granted you're qualified for it, see if we can get you going, but you're also privy to all the other opportunities in which we have in our center. Average civilians are not given that privilege. You come in for what you came in for, and if you want to come in again, you're more than welcome to. But the veterans we do serve, we tell them, when they're sitting in front of us, yes, you came in for this, but you may be more qualified for my colleague in Queens or my colleague in the Bronx, and you also always get that Priority One service. So we do pride ourselves on giving the candidates that, and I know I definitely do here at our Brooklyn Center, and I know my colleagues do as well. Next, I'd like to speak about some of the, I guess what we call hot jobs in our meetings companies that we deal with that on a larger scale that you guys would definitely be familiar with. One that me and my partner hang our hat on, we was able to actually get 16 veterans hired with the Department of Education recently as teacher assistants, and for this position, no experience was necessarily required. You identify yourself as a DD-214, show that you were good in the classroom as a teacher assistant, and yes, it starts off at $17 an hour, but that being said, they're now assisting candidates with going to school for their masters. They're now paying for these veterans to go to school to better their education and work within the Department of Education. And ironically enough, we knew the opportunity, but we didn't know it was going to lead to that. So it was very gratifying to see that. Another one down the block, I'm sure you guys drove past or walked past the Barclays Center. We definitely do all the recruiting, and it's always a busy time here when we do. The city comes out, Brooklyn comes out, and that being said, same concept. You identify yourself as a veteran, speak with me, and you may come in for one position, but you're qualified for another. So that's a big one. And then lastly, we actually assisted with IDNYC when they came to us to assist with the enrollment specialists, to help with the enrollment of these positions, enrollment specialists, enrollment supervisors. A lot of significant career-based positions came out of that. Actually, I have a veteran email me a couple months ago saying, changed her life. She came back from I think she was stationed in Hawaii, came back, timing's everything. She met me Monday, was working for HRA by Friday. So that's definitely a gratifying feeling that. And that being said, I've worked with Samuel and before, and a lot of his candidates. Never had the privilege to meet Mr. Clinton before, but I work very strong with Black vets. So it's a pleasure to work with you guys, and I look forward to working with the remaining of the board in the near future and be able to assist in any way we can. And without keeping you guys too much, I don't know you guys didn't come here to hear me speak. Like I said, we do have some information on the side out there. I'll be here to speak to anybody, any questions. If you happen to be a vet yourself looking for any kind of work, I would love to sit down and speak with you. So I'm here. So I'll be sitting right there. I'll have my cards to give out if anyone wants to speak. But again, thank you for allowing us to play host today. We really do appreciate myself and my director back there, Stacy. Hi, Stacy. And like I said, I really appreciate you guys allowing us to play host. And for anything I can help, feel free. I'll be right here. And I would also like to thank Letitia, I think her name is, for having me speak after the commissioner. I really appreciate that. Wasn't no pressure there at all. Thanks a lot.
So thank you to Daniel, and I guess a couple of comments. One thing, there's a great amount of resources in the city of New York, and I think one of the things that we've all observed is a lot of the resources are there, but they're not being utilized by the veterans community. So one of the themes that you're hearing in terms of the policies that the commissioner is pushing forward is really connecting and identifying those opportunities and trying to bring those to the public and bring those to the veterans. That's another reason why these meetings are in a public forum, so that everybody can hear about them. hopefully spread the word. So please do that as you hear about the great work that Daniel and his team are doing, and everyone else. Please spread the word to the people on your left and your right so that we can actually tap into these resources. So on that same front, next we're going to hear about an update about IDNYC. So Luke Hayes is going to take us through that.
Thank you very much, and congratulations on the new chair. Thank you, Commissioner, for having me. Thank you all for being here. I'll make this brief. My name is Luke Hayes. I'm the field director for the IDNYC outreach team. Born and raised in the Bronx. We got any Bronxites here? All right. The few and the proud. All right. So IDNYC is this great new program we have here in the city. It's a government-issued ID that you can use in a variety of different ways. Our motto is 8 million New Yorkers, one card. So you've heard about the cultural institution benefits, and it's 33 of them across the city in all 5 boroughs. The Bronx right now, their free day is Wednesday mornings, but that's when the rest of the Bronx shows up. So if you want to avoid the crowd, please get this card. You can get a free 1-year membership to the Bronx Zoo and 32 other institutions across the city. In addition to that, there's just a lot of great ways you can use it. Right now, it's the one card that you can use at all three library branches across the city: the New York, the Brooklyn, and the Queens Public Library. You can get discount prescription jugs with your card. You can use it to interact with the NYPD and to get into schools. So if your kid's sick, you can just flash the card. You can go in and pick them up. And in addition to that, there's a variety of benefits on entertainment deals. You can get discounts on movie theater tickets, Broadway shows, even Yankee tickets. So please check out this card. We have enrollment sites all across the city. I'm going to stay here to make appointments for anyone that's interested. Also go over the application process. It's easy and straightforward. You go in, it takes about 10 or 15 minutes, and 2 to 3 weeks later, you get your card, and that's it. And as the Commissioner has mentioned, we do have a special veterans designation that comes with specific perks and benefits for veterans here in the city. So that's all I have. If you're interested, I'll be out there in the hallways making appointments and answer any questions that you might have. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Next, Command Sergeant Major Kevin Fauntleroy is going to say a couple words. Didn't know he was going to say a couple words, but I guess he is.
Hey, Commissioner, Board, I definitely appreciate the opportunity just to stand here and speak. I'm a 29-year vet. I'm an active duty soldier. But prior to arrival here, I was in the 82nd. And then I was the West Point Garrison Sergeant Major. So here they put me in the middle of New York City. So here I am. So go figure, right? I tell you, in the Army right now, we are going through a big transition. You know, every day is a tough day with the reduction of the force. The morale is everybody's a little worried with the drawdown, employment, making sure we do the right things to prepare these young servicemen before they get out. So that's on my shoulders big time every day. So I'm not taking that job very lightly. I'm out beating the path of New York City, you know, engaging with cab drivers. And, you know, you used to say, I'm a Southern guy, so I'm used to saying hello, good morning, and people just look at you like you're crazy. And so I quickly learned. I just continue to do that. Well, what I will say is that, you know, our job is to prepare these young troops. And the DOD has a huge bill that we're paying in unemployment costs for veterans as they get out of the service. And what people don't understand is that bill is about $800 million. That's a lot of money. And for the Army itself, it's about $436 million. That's a lot of money. So every time a service member gets out and draws unemployment, that service gets that bill. So our 3 and 4 stars look at us and poke us in the chest and say, let me explain something to you. You need to be dynamic. You need to think out the box. I need you to be creative, and I need you to go out there and get it and partner with the community in the New York City and figure a way on how to help assist service members with employment and other things as well prior to them getting out. So what they did was they retooled what we call the Soldier for Life Transition Assist Program. So now the veterans can any veteran, doesn't matter what service you're in, if you are interested in coming back and getting that transition week course, all you have to do is show up at Fort Hamilton I'll leave a calendar of when those dates are. You can sit in that class and get all the new information that's out there that talks on how to help you prepare yourself as you transition out. Because to be honest with you, what I'm fighting for is to get that extended. 5 days is just not enough. These young soldiers, service members sit in this room and they getting a brief after brief after brief after brief, and then they leave, and then they're unsure of where to go and who to come back to. So now with the VAWAC that's been signed, you can come back. Now with DOD, which they signed 2 directives in December, one stating that I can give access to the VSOs, the MSOs, as long as it's helping transition service members, and then the other one is to deal with nonprofit, non-DOD, non-federal entities that want to provide a service to our family members and our service members as they get out. So that you all know, that is at Fort Hamilton right now. The Soldier for Life program is there. Colonel Rock is the program director, and I fall under him in executing those orders to assist these service members as they prepare to get out, because it's getting pretty scary. It's getting really scary, and each and every day these young service members, some that are the best of the best right now, because we've gotten rid of those that are not of the standard. Now we're at the threshold now where we're getting rid of some really good service members and leaders, and it's gonna be a trying time. So we have to work harder than ever. So with the mayor, you know, we've done some partnerships. We work with how many of you heard of New York City Serves Network? That is a fantastic network. So we came on board. We became a part of that network. We are also a service provider in that network. I've watched that network actually help these service members as they transition out, and veterans as they transition out, ranging from housing to legal to counseling to medical. I tell you, and it's a free service. Who does that? And then it has the ability to track our service members. See, that's the problem that we have now. You get out and I lose you. We lose you. So now we're charged to be dynamic and partner up with MOVA and New York City Serves, where there's this network that I can literally pull up a map which shows all 5 boroughs where our current veterans that are in the network, where they're located at, and what service providers are out there and where they're located at. That's unheard of. And then track them from start to finish. Start to finish, from the moment they pick up the phone or they go to the internet and request for service. 2 days turnaround time for a call back, and about 7 days they get service. That's unheard of. We can't do it in the Army, and we think we got money. We can't do it. But if you haven't heard of it, I wish I would have known I was going to speak today, because what I would have bought was some literature to actually hand out, and so that you have that information, you can take it back with you. But what I will tell you is that network is working. It's alive and working. It has about 400 and something service members right now. And it's providing 800 free services for free. For free. For free. So, Commissioner, you know, I want to say thanks for your leadership, and I tell you, you definitely inspired the Fort Hamilton group and our leadership. I won't be here very long. In the next couple months, I'll be rotating out, which you don't know. I'll be rotating out. I'll be moving on. The Army says I got to move on. It's time for me to go on bigger, bad things. And just when you get used to the job, you got to go somewhere else. So, so in the next couple months, I'll be gone. But what I will tell you is that New York City Serves Network, that is a start point, because what we're trying to do is get the Army to buy off on that network and become an investor in the network, because in the long term, as you transition out of the service, I already have you ready, and which in turn will reduce that unemployment compensation bill that's huge to our nation right now. All right, so thank you for what you're doing, and I appreciate it, and I'm proud to serve, and I'm out there fighting and protecting you and killing bad guys because I love it.
Thank you very much, Command Sergeant Major. Question? Yeah, please do.
Sir.
Back in my day, have they given any thought to early outs if a person has been able to find a job on their own?
Well, right now, sir, not when you find a job on your own, but right now what DOD's looking at and the Army's looking at right now is that they're starting to offer looks like we're gonna start offering early retirements, 15-year retirements, for people voluntary to get out early. Of course, they'll probably get a package of some money that goes with it.
And they also could show up with their civil service number.
Yeah.
If they got a prep date and they got a filing date, investigation date, they go bring it to the command sergeant.
Yeah, so if you do have a job, and they do have a job, and they want, at this time, if they do have a great lineup and a job, we can help them chapter it out and get that job. We can help
you a
that.
question on top of that. Now, if they take an early package to get out of the service, now, early package and long time package, two different things.
Yeah, two different things.
They lose all that long time package?
You get a 15-year, which is reduced from a normal 20-year. But it's just it is a way for the military to actually help reduce. And in the end, some will not have the option to, based on performance. It's a hard, you know, if anybody, it's a hard decision that has to be made. It's a tough decision that has to be made because we all know that the defense bill is the biggest part of our deficit. Is what we're paying. You know, here it is. I've been down ranked 6 times between Iraq and Afghanistan. What I tell you is, I just want to make sure that these service members get what they deserve when they get back. Because what I'm telling you is we see stuff and you deal with stuff every day. And people walk around here and they have no idea what these service members do every day while they wear that uniform. Because less than 1% of the population serves. To me, everybody should serve. How should you not want to serve our nation and that flag that we fly? This is the greatest country in the world. You kidding me? I've been all over the world. There's no other place I'd rather be but right here.
There you go. All glory.
Cool?
Yeah. Excellent. Thank you again. I think one of the important things, and you're going to hear this in the next discussion here, you know, as the wars fade from the front page of our newspapers, people forget. People forget about veterans and they forget. And so now is the time that the Army's drawing down really big. So we're going to have more people entering the workforce and leaving the military who are going to need help. So that's going to be another one of the big initiatives. So let's introduce Deputy Commissioner Catherine Laporte to talk about the Jobs Initiative.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and honorable VAB board members. And certainly it's always a great day to be in the same room with Command Sergeant Major Fauntleroy.
And you know I got your back.
You do, Sergeant Major, Command Sergeant Major. You absolutely do. And I'm not going to take up much time because I know that the VAB has some things that they need to get to as well. But what I will say is, and come closer, everybody, New York City is hiring. Absolutely. The Office of the Mayor is hiring. Commissioner Sutton talked about some of the positions that are currently available on nyc.gov/jobs. So please get that information out through your networks. Join our mail list. You can sign up here and get the personal listing sent to you. And let's get our veterans connected. That's what we do here at the Mayor's Office of Veterans Affairs. We connect veterans, spouses, active duty military, getting ready to transition to jobs. So we really have, across all agencies, DCAS, which is the #1 employer for New York City, jobs available. We have jobs available in MOX, in NYC Service, and CECM, the marketing arm, and operations. All kinds of jobs, admin, analyst, mechanics. No matter what your skill level, including the tech industry jobs, New York City is hiring. So we invite you to connect with MOVA. Please be sure to pick up a brochure here. You can see any of our specialists here. Sign up for our mailing list. A couple of things, VAB members, that I wanted to bring to your attention. September 10th is the Hire Our Heroes event. MOVA will be there. We will have DCAS there talking about civil service, how to apply We've been working with Fort Hamilton and also Fort Dix McGuire and getting into that cycle early because it's going to be a good 9-month process to get on a list for civil service. So we want to get in there early with our active duty military, and certainly with veterans. There are all kinds of jobs available, some civil service, some direct appointments. So please do share the message that New York City is hiring. Thank you.
Terrific. Thank you so much. Okay, next, this is a public forum, as everyone knows, so we have a number of folks who have registered to speak. In the interest of time, we will try to ask people to limit their comments to 2 minutes. I will raise people's names. They can come up and speak, and then we'll move on to the next person. So the first person is Mr. Robert Swan.
That's me.
Sir, do we have a microphone?
Good evening, everyone. I'm a Marine Corps vet. Yeah. Listen, we are panel here. We was talking about disabled vets. We get knocked out of the box from the city, and that's just wrong. And we here to speak about it. All right. So a lot of things is going on for like vendors, disabled vendors, vet vendors. Okay. And the city is trying to regulate us. And we are controlled by the state, not the city. And we having problems with that. Something went on this afternoon, but I'm not going to go into that right now because I don't have that much time. But we're here to regulate and ask for help and get city off our backs. Because we put our life on the line for this country and can come back and get slapped by the city? Come on. That's ridiculous. For further ado, I'm going to turn it over because I'm too teed off behind this. Okay? And that's all I have to say right now.
This is street vendors or vendors with city contracts?
No, without a contract.
Okay,
Street
just
vendors.
basically just street vendors.
Right.
Okay.
And we get slapped in the face every time we turn around. City's trying to regulate us. We do not run, city cannot run us. We run by the state, not the city.
I just wanted the clarification, so I knew where to go.
Okay, great. Next one, Robert Furman.
Hi, everyone. I'll try to sort of, hard to see everyone and talk from one spot here, but okay. Will you set a mic up?
You got your way.
Thanks for giving me the opportunity, especially Commissioner Sutton, who we've been working with. The we here is the Brooklyn Preservation Council. We're represented here tonight by Holly Fuchs, who's also active with the Society of Old Brooklynites, and Buddy Scotto from Carroll Gardens, who had to leave us a little earlier. But the reason we came here tonight at Commissioner Sutton's invitation was to talk about burial of veterans, as Dr. Sutton mentioned. It's very important that veterans be properly buried. And we're advocating to commemorate America's first veterans from the American Revolution who died in Brooklyn in 1776, covering the withdrawal of the Continental Army during the Battle of Brooklyn, which the U.S. Army calls the Battle of Long Island. Now, there was one particular group among them, and they were the only really well-trained soldiers in the Continental Army at that time, which was basically still militias, because we're talking about August, 2.5 months after the Declaration of Independence was signed. And what they did was sacrifice a quarter of their numbers killed. And this is the Maryland Regiment, who died covering the withdrawal of the Continental Army to Brooklyn Heights, where they were evacuated to Manhattan 2 days later. They were buried in the vicinity of 3rd Avenue and 8th Street in the Gowanus section of Brooklyn, and they are not noted very much on the site. And this, to me, is a tragedy as a Brooklyn historian. Since most of you are military, you know that for any military force to lose a quarter of their total numbers killed, that's 256 out of 1,000, is an extreme rate of casualties. But these men did this because they knew they were saving the American Revolution, and they did so. So what we're trying to do is establish a park on part of that burial site. There is one spot that is unbuilt and for sale, and we would like to develop a memorial park on that site that would also be a community park and an environmental park for an area that's now being developed. We're trying to obtain the support of the city and the state and the federal government in this. We're looking for, at this point in particular, funds from the city and the state. And tonight I'm here to ask you, and I'll have to abbreviate this, I can go on for hours, but I'm here to ask if any of you are interested in this, based on this rather cursory exposition, to please talk to me later. I'll be glad to provide you with our proposal for this and to discuss it with you. We would very much like the support of veterans organizations. For you, it is important that you understand how important veterans organizations are in the political scheme of things. One of our biggest supporters is the Raleigh American Legion Post, which is next door to this site on 9th Street and 3rd Avenue. This organization has been committed to this for several years. They obtained the support of the New York State American Legion, and that support was sufficient to get the governor's office of the state to talk to us, to meet with us when we went to Albany in June. All the community organizations in that part of Brooklyn were of no avail, but the fact that the American Legion of New York State sent a letter to the governor made them respond to us. You have a lot of power that you should start using, and I hope you'll use some of that to help commemorate America's first veterans. Thanks very much.
Next up, we have Shirley Rochester. Shirley still here?
Grace and peace, everyone. I'm Dr. Farley, combat veteran, 7 years United States Marine Corps, 19 years with the Justice Department. Lost a son-in-law in 2011 in Kuwait. Son just retired from the Marine Corps after 10 years. Have a daughter that's just completing 20 years. I just want to give you a little background. In the spring and summer of 1932, the United States government defaulted on a promise to veterans and their families. Over 20,000 veterans marched on Washington, D.C. There was no segregation. Black, white, city, countries, foothills. Under the instructions of the President of the United States, the then Chief of Staff fired on over 1,000 veterans and their families. Some reports say that 23 veterans were killed. 9/11, again, the men and women of this country came to service and protect this great nation. And once again, the government has defaulted. MOVA was created in 1987, and they too have defaulted. There are no grassroots organizations like Black Vets for Social Justice and Veterans Are Still Warriors. This will be Veterans Are Still Warriors last week in MOVA. In 3 years, we have serviced over 700 veterans. We have clocked over 35,000 hours in court time. We received no funding from the federal government, the state, or the city government. We feed this community on a regular basis, and now we're being kicked to the curb. So when it comes to issues of bad paper, which is over 30% of minority veterans in this state, when it comes to car fare reimbursement, which is a big problem now, car fare reimbursement is up to 2 months behind. Vendors being pushed out by city agencies. Citicorp would rather put bike stands up than put a veteran to work. We address homeless issues on paper, but anyone that's from Brooklyn, you can find 100 veterans on any given street in this town at night. We no longer issue clothes to veterans trying to get ahead, but I've been asked to go somewhere else to take care of my business. I'm in MOVA at 5:15 every morning. I'm usually the last one to leave in court, but there's no room. We have room for individuals who want to have a parade, and I don't knock the parade. But we need to start fighting for something other than one day. Someone called me a punk. They said the veterans community are punks. And I thought about that until Friday. A veteran came into my office and he said, "Doc, I'm a punk." He said, "I'm tired of fighting. I'm tired of pushing that rock." Who fights for him? Who stands for him? I don't see any VSOs in family court, in criminal court, in civil court, and we're being kicked to the curb. Who deals with the minorities, the female veterans, the black, the Hispanic? Do we wait for another war? As Sergeant Major Fronteroy said, maybe the reason is we only represent 1% of the community. So the next time you're in the VA, the next time you walk into the VA hospital, there's a note, a statement given by President Lincoln saying that we were responsible for the orphans, the families, and the widows of those that was broken. That statement is over 200 years old. And we still are not serving our community. And yes, we're punks because we allow the government to walk over us. Those who laid down their lives, those who shed their blood, don't want to fight anymore. So they come to me. So starting Monday, I will be at McDonald's in the Bronx. Tuesday, McDonald's in Brooklyn. Wednesday, McDonald's in Queens. Thursday, McDonald's in Staten Island. This is where we started. Wendy, we have to get back to the streets because the board was designed to protect us. And as a pastor, as a black man, as the patriarch of my family, if I can't protect my own family, how do I protect you? That's right, I'm a punk. Love you. Thank you.
Okay, next up we have Donde McKellar.
Hi, my name is Dondi McKellar, and before I say anything, I want to just thank the Office of MOVA for my my designation on my card. I just got to share this really quickly. I was at an event on Pace University, and I was told about the ID card. And there was a pop-up satellite office that was being set up at 65 Broadway. And I actually went in on a Monday. The following Monday, I opened up my mailbox, and my card was there. So thank you. I have already registered with the Intrepid, and I also have City Center is one of the ones I've registered with. So thank you very much. What brings me here today is that I am a disabled veteran. I'm a street vendor. I go by Dondi Bubbles. I also serve on a leadership board in an organization called the Street Vendors Project. It's under the umbrella of Urban Justice, as well as being the chairman of the Veterans Committee there. Recently, I just want to just share some numbers with you. With street vending, we have at least 20,000 street vendors in the street. The Department of Consumer Affairs has 853 licenses out for street vending. At this present time, the street vendors, veterans, are the only ones who can attain these licenses. So it's sort of safe to say that those 853 licenses, majority of those are veterans. Within that, we have a new license that I'm here to speak about. This license is the Specialized Disabled Veterans Mobile Food Vending Permit, better known as the V permit. The Department of Health and Mental Hygiene, along with the Department of Consumer Affairs, states that there is no cap on these particular permits. These permits are to be used surrounding the city parks only for now. They are only used for around the city parks. The food units that can be used are push carts. They are not trucks, not food trucks, but only the push carts that you can put on the sidewalk. At this time, the V permits, there's 136 active permits that's out there. We live in New York City, and we know during the summertime, it's really, the parks are something to enjoy in the city. But in the wintertime, it's going to be hard for those permit holders to actually take care of their overhead and feed their families, because again, it's not as much traffic in the parks then. At present, the Street Vendors Project has a campaign in place with City Hall to lift the caps. I was able, and what that means is basically to lift the caps so people can go down and apply for permits for general vending and also for food carts. At present, veterans can get their general vending license. So this is basically opening the field up for more than just veterans. Within my organization, I was able to clear through our campaign committee and the Veterans Committee a proposal for these 136 V permits to become citywide. This proposal has gone through the channels, and it is presently in the Speaker's office. I am here to ask you all for support. I have passed out handouts on the items. The items that I'm focusing in on is item 1. Item 1 with the V permits. Right now, they are restricted to the city parks. We would like to see these V permits to be city-wide. Again, we are talking about 136 veterans who need to feed their families and take care of their overhead. And I would like to also thank you for your time. Not only am I a disabled veteran, I had the privilege to serve with Councilman Jackson in 2001 in his office. He's one of the city council people, councilmen, and in my district in Washington Heights. And I served with him for 6 months in his office. I opened mail. That was my gig. So I was very happy to be a part of that and know the city council through those duties that I was given, that I really appreciated. And I want to say thank you for your time and any consideration you would give me with the city council. Please think of the veterans, the 136 veterans that really need to be citywide. Thank you.
Okay, next up, Howard Dalton.
How you doing? Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Howard Dalton. Airborne, 4 years, 43 jumps. Anyway, I'm also a vendor. Basically, this is 35A. These are the rules that govern how we can vend in the city. The good thing about vending is that if somebody gets a license, we can get them to work probably for the next 2 weeks, and they can earn some money immediately. They don't have to wait a long time. That's the good thing about it. But in this, there's no democracy. There's no way of voting anybody into office. You got 5 offices. Well, what shall read this? It's not where it's we can vote our people into office. We got 5 guys with blue licenses. They hold the office forever. And basically, we have over 800 licenses. So it's like we're in Russia with these guys basically telling us what to do. And they're not leading us anywhere. They're not doing anything. They don't talk to the city. Do they talk to your office? I don't know. You know, it's like, it's very frustrating because I have guys to come there, hey, Howie, I need a job. And it's, what's going on? Why is the blue license? Why we only got 60 blue licenses in Manhattan? There's over 800 square blocks. You know, what happened to the interaction with the city and the veterans? We hold the licenses. I mean, a guy can get out the service today and come to me and say, I need a job. If he has a license, I can hook him up. I can get him some money immediately. He don't have to wait for the check to come 6 months later or before he can get a CMP. You know what I'm saying? If we're granted the help that we need with this could be a major program. This is the oldest program. Vending been happening in New York City since 1870. Yeah. We're the oldest program. We are the oldest. But yet still we're getting the least amount of publicity. You know, we can put guys to work very quickly. We really want to. You know, so we need help with this. We need help re-changing this around a little bit so that we can get our body to vote on who they want to lead this. Right now it's like a communist party. No one can do it. The way it's written, I wish you read it, and please read it and tell me what we can do with it. And I look for your leadership and your help, you know, and help get to change this. Make it where we can vote on it. Thank you.
Great, thank you for raising that issue. And then last one for the day is Bill Moses.
Good evening, Commissioner, distinguished panel, guests, and others who are out here looking for something. My background, I've done 29 years with the military, 4 years Marine Corps combat veteran. I'm a disabled veteran. I did 19 years New York Army National Guard, and also did 6 years with the Army. I'm a retired lieutenant colonel. I've got 3 honorable discharges. I just came back from Lithuania. I worked for the Department of State since 1997. Spent time in Afghanistan, Iraq, Croatia, East Timor, and spent 4 years in Jordan as a training manager, training Iraqi police officers, recruits. I'm here because I met someone a few years ago at the Veterans Hospital in the Bronx, and the gentleman's name was Johnny Williams. I didn't remember his name, but I remembered his spirit, and I did my best. I just got married in April, thank you. And after spending time with my wife, she said, well, honey, what are you going to do? Because I'm a neat Nick, I'm a pain in the ass sometimes. And, we bounced around, been to Fiji on a honeymoon, been to Hawaii, been all over the place, but I want to do something. And my feeling is, as a veteran who believes in veterans, you served and you deserve. And someone like me would know if something's being done correctly because I am that kind of taskmaster. I stand behind what I do, and what I want to do is serve veterans in any capacity where it's a great fit. My resume, and I'll tell you a little small anecdote. I met somebody in 2006. He came to Jordan on a congressional delegation, and he was a senator. And this gentleman said, why don't you wait for Hillary? I said, no, sir, you a black senator. I may never meet another black senator. So I shook hands with him on a photo op, and that gentleman became the President of the United States. I said, because he shook my hand, he did high things. So I keep this memento. It was in my office in Jordan. It's been in my house. Yeah, I have a copy for you, for sure. I'll shake your hand also. But, I'm familiar with Jules Martin, and very familiar. But what I want to say is I'm looking for a better fit for me, because I don't know, is it housing? Is it something more? But I know that there's displacement. It doesn't make sense to me that a veteran, because once a veteran, always a veteran, has an issue with housing. There's something crazy about that. Employment, up and down. Fortunately, I've been able to find work with the Department of State and go all over the world. I've been to 52 countries, either work or play, but basically work. And you meet ambassadors. I was the youngest Marine in New London Submarine Base in 1965, and I was the oldest Marine at a Jordan Marine Corps event. So I think I'm going full circle, but now is the time, in the short time I have left on this planet, that I want to do something serious, where I can say it's not about what I'm earning, it's what I'm doing. And between my wife and I, we don't have to work. She'd rather me stay home, but I have a mindset that I want to do something serious. It's not a selfish goal. It's something more about giving back to those who served. Thank you for your time. Thank you very much.
Okay, great. Next up, so we're done with the public commentary. Next up, I want to recognize Daniel Wiley. Daniel, right there. So Daniel's a community coordinator for Congressman Nydia Velazquez, the 7th District of New York. Thank you for joining us here today. And I guess in terms of logistical business, one of the things that we have to do is update our bylaws, because everyone probably knows, or some of you know, some of you don't know, the laws have changed. There have been some updates to make it, one of them is actually making open meetings, having more meetings, having a larger board. So if there's volunteers from the board to work on the bylaws in the between now and the next meeting, if anyone would be open to volunteering to that exercise. Joe, Samuel, 2's probably enough. Okay, so we'll go with that. We'll be posting. What we aim to do is try to be clear and give more time so that everybody can actually be here in terms of picking dates for the meetings. So offline over the coming weeks here, we'll identify the dates for the rest of the meetings for this year, and then next year we'll aim to publish the meetings well in advance, probably for the full year, just so everyone can plan around those. I guess open to the board. Any other business questions, commentary that anyone would like to make before we adjourn for the day?
Not really a question for the crowd, but more of a statement. Seeing these faces out here, a lot of familiar faces and a lot of repeat attendees. And I want to say, reach out to your friends, to your other fellow veterans whom you know, and bring the issues to the Veterans Board, because collectively as a board, we can only do but so much. It's the input from the community that'll gear the what we do and how we do it, and what gets accomplished within our appointments. So I want to thank everybody for coming on behalf of all the board members, but mainly on behalf of myself. And to will everyone in the room, and whomever you may know who are veterans, to continue to keep coming and keep bringing the issues as we develop over the next few years. Thank you.
Anyone else? If not, then we're adjourned. Thank you, everybody, for coming.